Are you fucking shitting me? Oh my God. I'm so mad, Matt. I'm such an asshole.
Are we recording the audio?
No.
Oh no!
didn't never press record?
He's rabid.
I thought I did. I fucking thought I did. Hey.
You were talking about
Fuck.
people in the hospital. Were you supposed to be on?
I thought so.
Okay, because
You weren't on? I wasn't on?
I couldn't even get you to come on. I was like,
Oh my God.
I'm not getting any reception in the edition, so I thought I'd better come ask.
Oh my God. Hey, it's Matt. It's the hang. Oh, that's what I feel like. Just start over. Just start over. Just start over, the woman says.
It is a possum. They don't.
And then she zings you with a possum.
Yeah, by the way.
Oh, you fucking shitting me. Oh, I'm mad. I am so sorry.
Why?
Because that's a stupid thing to do.
Dude, who cares?
No, I hit it, then I hit the music, but maybe I mishit it, and then it went away. Man, you just missed like 20 minutes of the great raccoon story.
Wait, are we live now?
We're live now.
What happened? What's happening?
I just went live, and then I was bewildered that I was live, and I hadn't been live before, and I effed everything up, Matt, and I'm very sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Okay, nobody cares.
Fortunately, we know somebody that's been secretly recording the whole thing.
I was always wondering what in this room. Is this the pumpkin I got from the station?
Yes, that's right.
See, he's like, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I bet he wants to get this pumpkin.
Dave Rice, I need you to do me a favor.
Put a bucking device in the stem of that pumpkin.
So where do we stand? Are we live right now?
All right, we are live right now.
But we haven't been live for the last few minutes. Is that correct?
You're listening to The Hang with Mike Manson Waters and Matt Spice Floyd. With Mike Manson Waters and Matt Spice Floyd.
We're in a vortex.
Manson Waters and Matt Spice
Just what I need. This is just what I need right now. All right. So let me tell you something. So what's this is So welcome to The Hang with Mike and Matt. We started actually a couple minutes early because we were so excited to get to The Hang because we really enjoy doing The Hang. And then, my jackass producer hit the wrong button and we never got on the air. And we spent 20 minutes going over my rabies story. And we had much moments of brilliance and hilarity. And Don had said, just start over.
So let's make first of all, hello, everybody. Maybe we make a long story shorter.
Yeah, I can make it pretty short.
And let's reverse it. And let's put it like this. In case you missed the last 20 minutes, because you did, Mike has rabies.
Yeah, I got rabies.
It's official.
It's 14 days to live, I think.
So this could be the last broadcast.
But me, I'm a trooper. I'm going to keep broadcasting until I'm totally rabid. Even they can change me to the wall. That'll be the final episode. Oh God! Oh.
I don't know where to start.
I don't know where to start. I don't know. I know we almost completely finished it.
This whole thing is hilarious.
Emerson Johnson gifted a sub, taking him to let me see how many he's gifted. He is gifted 1,070 subs. Holy shit! That's just a buttload, Emerson Johnson. He's Navajo. Triple Edge Sword, 41 months. Thank you, Triple Edge Sword.
Hey, I would encourage folks to cheer some bits and subs tonight because we're going to have to do a telethon and a GoFundMe for Mike here because...
The rabies telethon.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of money to help me die as peaceful and on as much morphine as possible.
You want to die with some dignity.
Some dignity. Not...
Yeah.
I don't want to die. I don't care that much about dying. I don't want to die, but I'm not like obsessed with not dying. But I don't want to die like plummeting to earth, for 8 minutes in a plane. I don't want to die that way.
You'd rather die of rabies?
I don't want to die of rabies. I want to just die, like quick.
I mean, we can take you out back. We can take
shoot me.
Put you out of your misery. I'm worried about you. Again, in case you missed it, Mike has rabies. He told the story. He's got rabies. There's nothing else to say.
Matt, this is the last thing I want to do is interrupt the rabies talk because we just went through it for 20 minutes and now we're getting ready to do it again. But I believe, got a little bit of a hype train.
You piece of shit! You're going to need it, buddy.
And I need it for my rabies recovery.
Medical care.
There's no recovery from rabies, actually. No rehab, no recovery. It's just fatal.
This is the death train right here. This is not even a hype train. It's a death train.
It's a death train for my cremation fund. My cremation, because they got to cremate because I'm dirty and tainted with rabies, Matt. Dirty and tainted with rabies.
And again, you're not going to... you're not contagious, right? We're good?
I'm not contagious.
All right, well, in that case...
Rabies is not easily contracted.
The show goes on, baby.
So the show goes on.
The hype train happens. Cheer your bits for Mike's GoFundMe.
Podcast Willie. What's up, Podcast Willie? Actually, there's not enough people to do a hype train. Really.
Oh, man.
Oh, so yeah, we had a great time for the last 20 minutes going over the my rabies story, my raccoon rabies story, and I didn't record it, and I feel really stupid. But I'm going to move past it. You said who cares? Last 4 years doing this show, there have been times where I've done like once or twice done something stupid like that, and I would get so mad. I'd be like, I did all that for not, and then after a couple of times, then I was just like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll have a good show from here on out. But it's kind of been a pet peeve of mine when I've done that through my career, and you look over it, like somebody does a great take on a bit, and you're like, yeah, you nailed it, and you're like, I didn't fucking hit record.
Yeah, I feel your pain.
It's so bad.
I feel your pain, but I mean, again, you being rabid, you've got a nice excuse for anything like. Any boneheaded decision making that you have over the next week to 2 weeks before you're passing is perfectly justified.
It's it's like the rabbit card. Donna, no
sorry.
matter what, babe,
I've got rabies.
I got rabies, babe. Jesus Christ! I'm Curry O'Neill, 5,000 bits.
Whoa! Live like you're dying.
5,000 bits. My dying bed bits. Thank you, Curry O'Neill. I appreciate it. 5K. That'll pay for the urn. We're gonna put Curry O'Neill on the urn.
You can sponsor the Mike Waters urn.
Shut the fuck up, fat man.
So yeah, rabies.
Now, is this the first time you were telling the story?
I told it, I think Tuesday, but I hadn't decided. It was the very end of the show when Trace finally said, "You got to get the shot. You got bit by a raccoon, Dad." And I was like, and then it just dawned. It's like, and it made me, it makes me mad that I have to get a shot that I would say 95% at least certain I don't have it. But when you're gonna die if you get it, and you got a 1% inkling that you might have got scratched by a rabid raccoon, you got to get the shot, right?
You got to get the shot, and then you've got to get the booster. and then you've got to get the other booster.
Oh, so they're like, then you can go after this shot. In 3 days, you go to the health department and you get a shot. And then you come back 14 days later and you get a shot. Then you come back one more time after 18, you get another. And I'm like, oh my God.
I would imagine the bedside manner of the health department's not going to be great either.
Yeah.
You're not going to have a good time there. That's not going to be fun.
It's not.
They're going to stick you with just.
And you know what? I mean, like I went there and she's like, Donna, she's calling around, see, what hospitals, got it or whatever. She's trying to find out the price. And she talked to 100 people and not one person would give her the price of the rabies shot. They were like, no, we don't know. We don't know. You'll have to, you'll find that out later. It's like, what kind of, and Donna's like, what kind of business goes, we don't know how much it costs. You'll be getting a bill for it. Oh, you're going to be getting a bill.
You'll find out soon enough, buddy.
You'll find out.
So it's like after they bill your insurance kind of thing, and then send it.
No, we're cash. We're cash.
Okay, so it's a cash operation, and they still didn't have a price.
And they
on
still
how much
didn't
it
have a
cost.
price.
And now you've
Still
got to
didn't
go
have
to
a price.
the health department.
Well, not cash, but they were going. Just like we'll pay it.
Right.
Well, not really. We're not going to pay it. That's the new way.
Yeah, you gotta
Everybody
let-
I know doesn't pay their medical bills anymore. That's America, F you. I ain't paying my medical bills.
You
anymore.
let it go to collections. They call you up. You want to cut a deal, and then you cut a deal and you move on.
10 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, that's it. Somebody else is buying the debt. So what happens now? So is it also like when you go to the health department? Do you have to pay for those shots too, or are those on? Is that stake on the state, so to speak?
Somebody said it was expensive at the health department. I think the vet. I had a vet today out here today with my horse that won't eat. My 30-year-old horse that won't eat. This is. I run the world's shittiest farm. We don't grow anything. We don't raise anything productive. We just got a bunch of animals that make my life miserable. It's gonna be a mass shooting. No humans, just all these animals.
It'd be so great to have an iron gate above. You know how like the horse ranches do that, and they have some fancy name for it. And just have it iron right. It's just world's shittiest
World's
farm.
shittiest farm. Going in another direction. 41 months.
Whoa!
41 months. That's deep. 41. Going in another direction. Taking us to level 3. 83%.
Help him pay for his funeral, people, please.
I need morphine because I'm foaming at the mouth, and I'm strapped down to a gurney in my final 12 hours of life.
Oh my God! You could go to Halloween Horror Nights and just be you and just walk around like a zombie.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Oh,
so that's
poor soul.
So, but if the raccoon comes back negative, then I don't have to go to the health department and get 4 more shots, which is good. It's like somebody in chat, I know on Facebook, because I posted on Facebook, hoping somebody be going, hey, you never know. Hey, my mom works here and she can get you in,
right,
quick with the rabies deal. And he's like, I wouldn't take it. Raccoon bites or rabies is so rare. There's so few cases. He's like, I'd take some colloidal silver. But if you get the shot, just know that they're putting that mRNA in you. And I'm like, I did so well avoiding that stuff.
And they still got you.
And they probably got me.
It's sort
She
of
had a big bag of powdered NRA she was mixing with the shot.
And you're waiting on the result. This is like I would imagine this is akin to like finding out the chick you slept with had AIDS. Okay. And then it's like, well, I got tested. I'm waiting my results, but you got to get tested too, and then you're waiting on her results, and then everything is hinging on that result before you can either take a sigh of relief or not.
Yeah.
I mean, AIDS is a pretty extreme scenario. I mean, you could probably replace that with herpes or something like that.
Well,
but just to prove the point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
the same thing.
Yeah, you are in an STD like nightmare.
I am.
Except death is your option.
And I was pretty pissed because Donna was, and they were making total fun of me because I don't like to go places. I think you can relate.
I'm with you.
Especially like the health department, 3 separate trips to and hour wait and Lord knows.
I'd rather get rabies.
Exactly. That's why it's like, man, I could roll the dice and wait till, Thursday's when the results are coming back. Monday's when I could have possibly been infected. And that's just a little bit too long. Just a little, according to everybody. So I was like, I just gotta fucking get the shot. As much as I don't want to, and I just don't think you can roll those dice. Because it's the only thing I know of where if you contract it, they're like, you're dead. And there's one person in America who's ever survived getting rabies.
Is it really?
Yeah, one person. I don't know.
And that was just probably a fake, like a false test.
Or maybe, they didn't have as much of the virus. I don't know.
One
person. So you're going to die. So
study that guy. Whoever that person is, study what he's doing.
That's a pretty good idea.
Right?
Level 4, 15% still.
Oh.
Appreciate the going out of business hype train.
That'll go for the flowers.
We got rabies going out of business, making spectacular deals.
They're real.
So,
we'll also be we'll be pawning off all of this stuff soon. So what about the wife? Is Donna
Well, I mean, now that I got the
She
shot,
worried?
nobody's, I mean, for as long as she mixed up the ingredients right, I'm scot free. I go back, get my boosters, get my additional shots if the raccoon has rabies, and then I'll be good. I think. Now, after her mixing the chemicals in there, and they go, these are like IKEA. I don't know what. And then she called somebody. She got on her phone and said, "How do you mix this?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is supposed to be a life-saving drug."
Just out of curiosity, did she call somebody on her cell phone, or was it like a hospital
Cell phone.
She just pulled out her cell phone and called
Pulled out her
somebody?
cell phone.
Not even like a call in the front desk of the hospital, like via the room or something?
I don't know whether it was somebody in the hospital.
Hello?
Donna's got it on a video, so when I die, she'll have a hell of a lawsuit. Good for you, babe. Good for you.
Well, you were saying you got like 15 to 20 shots.
It's all.
That's so insane.
It's just
to me.
one syringe full of stuff, and they go.
Okay.
But a lot, and you're like, how many times? And your skin's all bubbled up, like a freak. And then she put these giant, and I wasn't hardly even bleeding, but maybe 2 or 3 of them had a little. And she put like 17 bandages that big on me, like trying to justify something. I don't know.
So when we were off air, but on air.
Oh shit! I forgot to hit record again.
But one of the things I was saying was there's an animal out there that apparently doesn't contact or get rabies, but you'd think it would. And I thought it was a possum, and your wife told me that is correct.
Yes.
She said that possums don't get it, which again blows my mind because everybody thinks that would be the one that would be a really dangerous critter to get it if you don't know, right? Yeah, all that stuff. Why aren't we studying those things and figuring out how are they not getting it? How are they like the only thing that's not getting it?
You know why? Because there ain't no money in a rabies cure. I mean, you know how many people get a rabies? It's probably
The struggle's real.
a few hundred a year. It's not. I don't imagine.
Gotta
many
be more
people-
than that.
I don't know.
Gotta be.
I don't know how many rabid animals are out there.
I don't know either.
So you have to encounter a rabid animal, and it has to bite you, or scratch you, or kiss you.
Mwah.
It's a saliva deal.
It's a saliva deal? So it's not even a blood deal.
It's in its saliva.
Okay.
Yeah. I just didn't, I just didn't know. I had cuts. I had blood. I didn't know. You can't see saliva, so
Dude, now, what will your wife still like kiss you right now? Like if you were like, babe, I want a deep tongue kiss, would she do that, or would she be like, let's wait for the results first? Let's just.
Matt, she hasn't kissed me for 17 years. No, we were making out right before you came in the door.
Perfect.
I mean, yeah, it's not really.
I mean, it would be a concern.
I mean, yeah. I was gonna say it's not that.
If it's a saliva deal.
That's a good question. I don't have the answer to that. If I actually didn't take the though I don't know, it's not a vaccine, whatever shot they give you for rabies, I think she might be keeping her distance, and I wouldn't blame her.
See, thank God I'm not like a crazy multi-millionaire, because I would bring 5 animals in and be like, all right, for $100,000, you take your pick of which one. 4 have rabies. One almost like a Russian roulette style rabies thing.
That's a bad deal too.
Be a great bit though.
It would.
I mean,
And do you follow the guy after and when he gets rabies and
it becomes its own reality show. Absolutely, all the way through to the grave.
your own reality right to the that's me. Maybe I'll fill my I'm going to be okay.
I hope
It's
so.
not as fun, not having rabies, but I'm pretty sure if she makes the chemicals right, I'm not going to have rabies. And I hope, there's not that many cases of rabies in animal. Usually it comes back negative, but I'm sure it'll come back positive, and I'm going to have to go to the health department and get jabbed with Lord knows what from Big Farm 4 more times.
That sucks.
That bums me out, man. I don't trust,
You don't trust any of the
I don't
stuff.
trust, the people that are poisoning us with fentanyl and OxyContin. I don't trust them. Oh, shocking.
Okay, you don't trust them, but here's the rub: is right now you need them.
I need them. I do.
You need
I
them.
do
So
need them.
there's
See?
there's
it's
that.
It's a rub.
It's
a rub.
a rub because you don't.
I need 'em.
You don't trust them. You don't like them. You don't want them until it's like, hey, if I don't get this shot, I might die. So,
But
I like you now.
see, they paint us into a corner. But see, I don't go to the doctor. Unless I have something where I feel that it's gonna, be almost life threatening. I'm not, and I've seen very qualified and esteemed physicians say the same thing. They're like, I go to the doctor if I break my leg. If I have appendicitis, I'm going to the hospital. But I don't go to the doctor for my average health care because they don't know shit.
Well, you're right. I mean, yeah, I don't want to say you're right in that much, but I'll tell you this. Before, when I was a kid, you go to the doctor and you would spend time with the doctor and you knew them and they knew you and there was like a relationship there. It was pleasant. It was like, oh, how you been? How's your parents? All this stuff, right? And then you get older and all these hospitals are getting eaten up by, the Bakers of the world and all these conglomerates and all this stuff. And now, they literally, I was watching something, it might have been like, kind of like a 60-minute style thing or something like that. And the doctors on average, it's all about productivity. In every job you have now, it's all about productivity, speed, how much can you get through, So your average primary care doctor gets like 15 minutes with the average patient, and that's it. And they've got your schedule booked for you, and you don't have any deviation in your day. You don't want anything to run late. But like for me, I'll get the latest appointment in the day because of my schedule, right? So I'll go to the doctor. I'll set it for like a 4:00 appointment. I'm not seeing that doctor till like 5:30. So I'm waiting in the
sucks so bad.
Because she's been backed up throughout her whole day of all these 15-minute appointments turning into 20 and 25 and all this. And then they get mad at her because she's not being as productive and getting the patients through quicker.
Yep.
And it really sucks because sometimes if you are going to take the time to go see a doctor, you just want to sit there and talk to the doctor and say, hey, look, here's what's going on. Have an honest conversation, not a speedy,
chop. I got places to be.
Yeah, and that's how it feels when you go to the doctor now, at least in my experience.
Oh yeah, it's the corporatization of medicine. I can remember my doctor, my family doctor, when I was a kid. This is a long time ago. And it was Dr. York, and he was a family doctor. He knew you. I broke my arm one time, and he came to see me in the hospital. That ain't happening now.
No way.
No doctor is going to go be seeing an 8-year-old that's, in his practice. And he wasn't a pediatrician. I just went to Dr. York because he was a doctor. My mom didn't take me to a pediatrician. We went to just the doctor. And he came and said, that ain't happening now at all.
No.
You're getting 15 minutes with your doctor.
At most. And then on top of it, then you used to be able to call the doctor and be like, hey, I'm feeling this. Those days are long gone. You got to go.
No way.
I have to log into a patient portal and then type my question, send it, and then wait for a response, and they tell you, oh, we'll get back to you within like 24 hours, 36 hours. Like, well, what? Why is this?
It sucks.
But I can't blame the doctor because they're getting it from all ends. It's all rolling, everybody's taking shit from the top down.
It's just the way. It's not the doctors necessarily. It's just what happens. When everything gets corporate. You don't have any choice. You got they buying everybody else out, and eventually you get bought out.
And then you might find a great doctor, but I'll be damned if that doctor takes your insurance. That's the other part. Like you do find a good quality person who's willing to take the time with you, and then sorry, we don't accept your insurance.
Yeah, it's not in our group.
Our group. Yeah.
Here's another. So I go into Baycare to get my rabies shot because I was wrestling a dog and a raccoon in a steel cage match, and so you go up to. I hate this. This is another one of my pet peeves. You go up to the lady and you're like, I think I might need a rabies shot. I'd like to register, and she's like, oh, okay. Well, you have to go to the self check-in, and I'm like, okay. Why can't you just check me in? So I go to I didn't say that. I go to the check-in, and you do the bullshit. And then they got a palm deal. To finish it out, you got to put your palm over it, and it's going to read your palm. And so they get your, so now your palm print is everywhere, Everybody's got your palm print now. So I put it there, and it's taken 10 times. Move it an inch closer. Not move it an inch back. I'm like, I just want to register to fucking see the doctor. And it never worked. And so I had to go to her, and then she gives me a palm thing and says, here, and she puts my hand where it's got to be. And it's like, I don't do that. I don't want to self-check in. I don't want to self-check out.
Well, furthermore, now, did you go to the emergency room?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the only place they have it.
Think about this. That's the worst part about it is if you're walking into an emergency room, or at least in the traditional case, you're walking in there because you're frantic that there's an emergency happening to you, right?
Yeah.
Who wants to go to an emergency room? You feel like you're in an emergency situation, and then you have to self-check in and then do a palm reader thing and all this stuff. Like okay, if somebody walks in with a hemorrhaging leg and a tourniquet, what are they going to do? I would hope
they would check you in.
Right, they would check you in. Let's do that with everybody.
There was a guy, I was walking in, and the guy pulled up. I just parked in the parking lot. This guy pulled in the area where the ambulances do, and he was like going, oh, and so his friend was helping him out, and he's like, oh, and then I went back to the car. I was talking to Donna, and when I came back in, the guy was at the self check-in.
See, it's so rude.
I was like, are you shitting me?
You're gonna make this guy do that?
I was like, this is backwards. This is backwards. It's backwards. It's like, I went to the Circle K the other day, and I put my big gulp of my chili pistachios up there. Oh boy! And I got my money out, and she's like, "Oh, you got to put it down here on the self checkout." And I'm like,
"On the scale?"
Okay, yeah, on the scale deal. And I'm like, all right. So then she's like, I was like, what I would do with money. She's like, put it in slot. And I got it's like $6. And all I got's ones, and they keep rejecting my ones. And I'm getting a little testy. I'm going, I was like, why can't they just check me out? This is ridiculous. Just taking jobs away from people, and it doesn't even work. And then so I finally check out. And finally, she goes, come over here, sir. She checks me out. She's like, I wanted to help you, but you were getting a little hostile. And I was like, oh my God. She thinks I was like a mass shooter. I'm just mad because I'm sick of this self-checkout bullshit. I can't go to Walmart and buy some groceries without having to do it myself.
Yes, and then they give you guff. Like somebody on Facebook talking about that, and they're like, oh, and then you bag stuff up wrong, and then they yell at you, and it's like, well, I apologize for doing your job better. Like you do it then. I'm not getting paid to do this. But the Circle K thing really pisses me off now because I'm with you because they've got this scale. Okay, so it reads the items for you. So it's
fantastic.
The technology.
Oh my God.
Oh, thank God this thing can read the items and know exactly what. You know who else can do that? The fucking cashier that's standing directly behind the scale, staring at me with her arms behind her back and just waiting and waiting.
It's infuriating.
She's not doing anything. Let's do this transaction, you and I. We don't need to involve a scale.
I don't even understand it. I don't understand. I mean, I guess that's what it's going to be. There'll be no, eventually you're effed. There's no humans in the store.
No.
And it's going to be, who's going to buy the products from the store when nobody works anywhere because they replaced them all with automation? Is that, did you ever think of that?
Oh yeah. And the Amazon is paving the way for that with those,
the robots.
The robots are not even those, just the ones where it's literally a staffless location, and you just, you throw all the items into your cart, and it totals them up for you, and you walk out. You don't pay.
Yeah.
It's none of that. So it's just
it's an automatic deal.
Automatic deal.
Yeah.
But then
people think that's so cool.
I know, and I'm going, that's not really that great. I mean, it's kind of cool if you're having a bad day and you don't want to talk to anybody. That's okay, but it's not permanently. I don't know. But then you look at companies like Target. And Target, I think a couple weeks ago they were talking about their profit and loss and their earnings, and how much shrinkage they're suffering from in loss prevention and these sort of things. And I'm sitting there going, well, they're talking about people taking items out of the store without paying for them and all this, but it's like you've forced everybody to a self-service world, and if you've got nobody at your cash registers, and you've got people getting items. How many people are slipping through the cracks or accidentally putting an item in a bag that they didn't mean to, or forgetting to ring it up, or whatever the case may be, or in some cases taking it, because that's what they want to do, and shoplift or whatever. But over the course of time, over a year, that's going to add up to a lot of money.
You would think.
And then they wonder why their numbers are down, of how they're losing all this product. Now, that's not all of it, I'm sure, but you you're damn right it's playing a role. It's got to. You can't have that much. You can't have a customer have that much control over the product and not have something go awry.
Have you, heaven forbid, ever accidentally left something on the bottom of your cart or something at the self-checkout and got into your car and went, oh, I didn't pay for that? I know I have. And you know what?
You just kept moving.
It wasn't. Well, sometimes it's not that accidental.
See,
look. See, you know me. I'm a fairly honest guy.
you're
a good guy.
you're a beacon of society.
I mean, like I've told my kids this. Like Weston was like, man, I was at Walmart and then I forgot I had like two 40-pound bags of cat food on the bottom, and it was like $40, and I was like, good. I said, fuck Walmart, fuck every corporation out there. I don't care if you shoplift. I don't care what you steal from these fuckers. I don't give a fuck. It's it. I mean, they've Walmart, Amazon, all these companies have ruined America. I've known not so many, but I've known several mom and pop people who just got run out of business. This guy next to Donna's flower shop had a hardware store for his whole life. Little hardware store guy. You got a problem? He's gonna tell you how to fix it. He knows everything. And as soon as Home Depot moved in, he was out of business, and he had to go to work after being his own boss for 35 years. He had to go to work for Home Depot.
Now he's in aisle 12.
Aisle 12 wearing an orange vest guy. Fuck that. Fuck. Hey, if you can steal whatever I don't know if this is a call to action, but if you can steal,
don't do it.
If you can steal from whatever you want from any corporation, I applaud you. And I've totally flip-flopped and I've fuck these guys.
Well, okay, look at Walmart. There used to be greeters, okay? There used to be people that would and now I didn't necessarily like the greeters.
Yeah, I don't need a greeter.
I don't need a greeter. But what they've done is they replaced the greeter. Now there's no greeter. There's nobody helping you out with your carts. There's none of that like friendly shit, okay? Instead, it's all self-service. And then when you check out, that greeter is now at the exit going, let me see your receipt. And they're going over your receipt and they're just going, okay, thanks. And moving on. So like they literally replaced the customer service at the front of the store with a bodyguard at the exit of the store.
That guy's not pleasant.
No.
And how many times you got a long, Donna's got, when she goes to Walmart, her receipt's like this, and you got some, 70-year-old joker going, all right. And he's like, he ain't even checking shit.
And even
There's
if he
no
was,
way.
What does he care? What does anybody even care? They're like, what does somebody even give a shit for anymore? Like, why would you?
Well, as an employee of Walmart, I'm not tackling anybody who's trying to steal a bag of potatoes or something. I don't care. Well,
yeah.
Yeah. How'd we get on Walmart? What were we talking about?
I'm telling you,
hardware.
You had rabies.
I had rabies. I think it's the Bakecare deal may have got into that. I don't have rabies. I had to take the rabies shot, which pisses me off.
Mr. Anti-vaccine over there.
Pissed me. Yeah.
Look at you.
I got
falling in line.
I got the MNRA coursing through my veins right now, and I got to tell people it feels spectacular. I was wrong. I'm superhuman now.
How mad are you going to be if the raccoon comes back and it just has nothing? You're going to be bent because now you did. I did it. I did this vaccine for nothing.
That's I think,
and it's going to stay with you.
What you just said is the whole crux of the thing. Is I'm 99% sure I didn't need to do this, but I had to do it, and it pisses me off. And it's like, if the raccoon comes back positive, I got to get 4 more shots at the health department. But if he comes back negative, I did it for nothing.
Nothing.
I still hope it's a negative. I don't want to go to the fucking health department.
Right now, Fauci's laughing at you.
Oh, he is. He's going to give me a robocall.
You capitulated.
I did. I capitulated. It's you can't fuck around with rabies, people.
No, you can't.
You can't fuck around with rabies.
I mean, I get it. Well, I mean, your week certainly was different than the majority of folks out there.
Yeah, it was a shitty ass week. That's a bunch. Because there's a period of time where you're going, I should just not do it. I'm not going to get rabies. And then it's like, then you wake up Thursday morning with a fever and you're like, oh, I'm going to die. I'm not doing that.
I'll tell you, we talked about it a little bit after the show last week about parasites, and I've been doing like more and more reading and watching these videos, and
I
now
see a
it's
lot of
in-
those videos.
Now it's in my algorithm, so now it keeps coming to me, right? So now
Yeah,
I'm just constantly fed with all this parasite
Now
information.
you're dewormer guy.
Oh, I'm totally a dewormer guy. And now I'm like, okay, I found like this app thing that you can order basically whatever you think you need,
yeah.
right?
Oh, give me that app.
I know it's kind of
Yeah.
cool, and it works because my wife ended up,
Oh, you told me.
using it,
Oh, that's yeah.
and it worked, and I was like, oh, okay, all right, cool. So
She used it worked for what?
a prescription for her for
Parasites, or we're not talking about parasites anymore.
no we're ivermectin.
Okay.
She was like, I'm gonna take
I mean, it's used all over the world.
right, but some people have still this controversial stance on it or whatever. But I'm looking at all these different
Yeah, but that's
parasite
cool.
cleanses, and the funny part is, when you look at it, it's like, okay, what do you do with a dog? You go get a dog, dewormed. What do you do with a cat? You go get a cat dewormed. I've never in my life ever been like, hey, I'm a human. You know what? I need to deworm myself. Like nobody, for some reason, it doesn't
Yeah.
really come up into conversation. You do it with your animals. You do it. But like, think of all the shit that's going through a human's body over the course of time. What makes us think that we don't need to be dewormed? And I guess other countries do it,
Yeah.
like 3 times a year, and other places do it a little bit more, differently than this. But I've never done sort of like a dewormer cleanse.
So even though you're getting into it now, you still haven't done any of it.
No.
Because I'm very curious about it. I see it, and they'll be like cutting meat, and you'll see the worms, or they'll be pouring something on your meat, and they'll be going, "This is what's in your meat."
Yeah, there's like a 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola, and all of a sudden these white things come out.
Is that true? But I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't know either, because then you don't. Yeah, because then there's so much. There really is a lot of misinformation.
Oh my
out
God, there is.
So it really is difficult to dig to the bottom of it. But I am learning more about it. I haven't done it yet, but I plan on it, because why not? I mean, it's not going to kill you.
It's like the ivermectin, that blew my mind. It's like, this is an FDA approved drug. It's not going to hurt you. It's used worldwide, but if you used it, you were an idiot.
Exactly.
And that's when I was pretty much solidified everything. I was like, okay, whoever is saying that, I don't believe anything you say ever again. Ever again.
Yeah.
You're complete frauds.
And what we kind of talked about last week, after the program, was like, that was the first time in my life that I've experienced so much, what would be a kickback, or I don't know, just backlash.
Yeah.
Backlash from a medication that's approved and used by tons of people. It was the first time in my life, and you have to question, like, why are they trying so hard to vilify it?
Exactly. I mean, that's in my opinion, it's the older I get, to realize that anytime the powers that be come out strongly against anything, it's because it's true.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been proven over the last like 4 or 5 years.
I'm realizing that now currently with Bitcoin, and I've known it, right? Because I've been involved in it for years. But you had all these financial investment firms and the Fidelities and the BlackRocks and all these people basically for years talking about what a joke it is. There's no value to it, nothing. Just it's used for drugs and smuggling and money laundering and blah. Meanwhile, cash, hello,
Yeah.
But regardless, now what are they doing? They're now filing for ETFs, and they're on the verge of approval. And now now all of a sudden they're getting on board.
They're all buying Bitcoin now.
Exactly.
They all have at least some stake in Bitcoin.
And they're going to have to. And that's the funny part, because you got to do like the opposite of what they're saying. You almost just have to live your life as an opposite.
I agree. I live my life as an opposite.
Like
I do.
permanent opposite.
Like whatever they say, I don't believe in these guys. I don't believe anything these guys say, and whatever they say, I'm doing the opposite. I mean, I think you'll do a lot better in life. Do the exact opposite of everything they say. Believe of course, you probably shouldn't say that. That'll get you on a list right there. Saying,
for sure.
Yeah, get you on a list. Oh, I'm really sorry that everybody missed the first 20 minutes of the show. It's a special VIP show that me and Matt do, and it's only for Donna, And she's hitting. She can barely hear the show, but we just do it for her and ourselves. It's a super duper VIP. You can't even get it. You can't order it. I mean, if it did order it, you wouldn't be able to afford it. And it was probably the best 20 minutes we've probably ever done, which is saying a lot for the Mike and Matt show, because I mean, every show is stellar.
So it was radio platinum, and it's gone into the.
Oh yeah. You know, like you see your attitude help me just get right over it. You know, say, who gives a shit? I don't have rabies, hopefully. I'm feeling good.
We can talk about celebrity birthdays. It's fine.
Celebrity birthdays. Man, every time I hear Ryan Seacrest, I'm just like steamed. Because he's so disinterested. He doesn't even care. It's such fluff. And he's just kind of like, he's not enthusiastic about anything. He doesn't even care. And he's getting paid.
I can't hate on that, though.
I mean, well, good for him, but it's like, maybe I just hate the industry.
Yeah, it's not. You can't. Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
Because actually, I've seen him be funny at times. When he's out of character of Mr. Smarmy. But it's so bad. It's so bad. His show on radio. It's so bad, and it's so fluffy. It's so like you said, celebrity birthdays. Did you know it's National Radish Sandwich Day? And it's like, what are you talking about?
But there is an audience for that stuff.
I know there's a huge audience. It's a tragedy that there's an audience for that.
Just like on this very format that we're on right now, okay? I was doing some poking around on this thing the other day.
Poking around.
I was disgusted at what I saw on some of these channels.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. I
don't even know if I'm allowed to even, I don't want to.
For me?
There's no like disparaging anything or anything like that, but the amount of girls that are running channels with thousands of viewers that are sitting by a pool or pretending to get into a hot tub, but they never do, and it's just hype. And there's like 9,000 people watching them, and I'm going, and at this point, I'm becoming one of them because I'm going, is she going to get in this hot tub or what? And it's just like, I'll be there in a minute. Like it becomes some sort of like weird, almost like
fetish.
To catch a predator thing, right? Like, I'll be out in a minute. I promise I'm going to get in the hot tub. But
she's suckering you in, buddy. Suckering you in.
And I'm watching all these people comment on it, and they're like, and then sometimes they'll be like, hey, are you ever going to get in? Or where are you? Like, are you even real? Like, who's there? I'll be in a minute. I'm just changing. Like, all that stuff. And there's 9,000 people watching these channels. And I'm going, okay, I can't get mad at it. Don't hate the player.
I get mad at it.
Hate the game.
Yeah.
Because there's 9,000 perverts out there waiting for a woman to just make an appearance to get into a pool.
How many people do you think would pay to see a man of my age in fake boobs get into a hot tub?
5.
Damn it.
Maybe 6.
It's just like, I don't dwell on it at all, but occasionally I'll be thinking, it's like, you'll see these people with and these people who were people before these ridiculous social media platforms existed could never have got a job anywhere ever in entertainment because they don't really have much talent. But they were like first in and they just suck ass and they're multimillionaires. And it's like, that didn't used to happen.
It's pretty funny because the popular people with, the kids and the younger generation are the YouTubers, the world, and all this kind of stuff. So like at the Bucks game over the weekend, Mr. Beast was at the Bucks game. And I know who he is, and I think the dude's talented. Like, I'm not taking anything away from that, right? But I asked my daughter, I go, hey, guess who was at the game today? And she's like, who? And I said, Mr. Beast. She about lost her shit. She's like, oh, my God, really? Like, that's a rock star.
Yeah, that's
right?
the rock stars.
That's the new rock star.
That's the new rock stars.
And it was funny because you talk to somebody else, and they're like, who? I'm like, the guy from, like, they're familiar with it, but not this, godlike thing.
All these people and the Logan Pauls, but like Logan Paul, I guess he is a badass.
Oh man, I give both of them credit.
I've seen him wrestle, I've seen him box. He's a badass.
Well, I hate the argument of, he was just a YouTuber. Or just like everybody starts off doing something, right?
Yeah.
You didn't start off out of the womb doing radio. Either did I. You have other jobs, and then you evolve, and you move into something that you like, and a career takes place, and all this kind of stuff. And that's what pissed me off about the cuck. Back in the day, it was like, "Oh, you're another blah, blah, blah." Well, yeah, I was 12. Like, what did you expect me to be at 12 or 13 or 16? Like, yeah, everybody comes from somewhere. You have to. Have jobs.
He's just a Warsaw Parks employee,
right? Like, come on.
I'm fresh out of beverage, Matt, because we did an extra 20 minutes before. It's the new pre-show. It's the VIP pre-show. You can if you want to come by, and you might be able to hear it outside my house. It's not broadcast anywhere. Only into Mike and Matt's ears, and Donna, who's sitting 45 feet away, can barely hear a word of it. But it was sensational. Okay, I was about to sign us off. No.
Don't do it.
I'm going to play something instead. Let's see. What shall I play? I forgot to look up sudden involuntary carny syndrome.
Okay.
I had a little bit of a busy week.
You
man.
did. You've got rabies, for God's sake. I'll let it slide. You can play the rabies card.
Fighting raccoons, getting rabies shots, all this bullshit.
You're like Daniel Boone.
It fucking sucks. Let me play something that's not copyrighted. We're on a roll. I don't think we've had any copyright violations so far this show. Yeah, I'm sure I will. I got so much material here that's violating copyright standards.
Who is Daniel Boone?
See, that makes me feel real old.
Like last week we discussed Johnny Appleseed, and now I just threw Daniel Boone out there, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't even know who Daniel Boone is. I'm not sure.
It's great. I can impart to you these stories when we come back.
Deep tease on Daniel Boone.
When we come back, the story of Daniel Boone on the hang. We'll be right back.
Uncle Ned, we want a story.
Oh, great. What kind of story?
The Three Little Pigs.
Ah, the classics. Now let me snort up this Adderall and we'll get started.
Yeah!
It's good shit. All right, where was I? Once upon a time, there were three little pigs. They lived at home, and they spent all day playing Fortnite and jacking their nasty curly-cute pig dicks to boars on sows.
Gross!
But don't be so judgmental. Everybody's got their kinks. Now, these pigs finally got kicked out of their house, and they started to build their own houses. And the first little pig built his house out of straw, because he was a lazy piece of shit.
You don't know that. He can be on the spectrum.
Bullshit.
He can have a disability.
Hogwash. This pig was living off the government, and he was worthless. So when the big bad wolf came upon the first little pig's house, he said, I'm going to huff and puff and blow your house down.
Why?
Because pigs are lower on the food chain, so he was going to blow their house down, and he was going to slit the piggy's neck with his wolf claws, and then eat his way through the pig's rectum to the delicious entrails.
Eat the pigs? That's mean.
It's called the circle of life. Ain't you ever seen the fucking Lion King?
That's a hate crime.
I hate crime. You're full of shit. Okay, all right. I'll give you the snowflake version. Okay. Here we go. The wolf wanted to blow down the piggy's house because he was Antifa, and the pigs had all voted for Trump.
No!
But before the big bad wolf could start blowing, the first little pig ran away to the second little pig's house. Now, the second little pig was QAnon, and since he was so busy selling MAGA hats, he built his house out of sticks and branches.
Cutting down trees makes global warming. Oh, global warming!
Oh, jeez. You've been listening to AOC. What's going on? This pig didn't give a fuck about climate change. So the big bad wolf called up Greta Thunberg, and they both began to huff and puff to blow his house down.
Did they have masks on?
They didn't have a mask on. You can't blow down a house wearing a mask. What are you talking about?
Mask holes!
Mask holes?
Believe the science, doodlehead.
Jesus Christ, what a bunch of fucking Fauci marks. Okay, so the wolf was triple masked, and Greta had a hand sanitizer suppository shoved up her ass.
Were they 6 feet apart?
Jesus Christ, yes, of course they were. And the wolf hadn't hugged his grandma in over a year. And he got arm jabs from all 3 experimental vaccines. And he voted for Sleepy Joe 8 times through the mail. You happy?
No.
Whatever. Both piggies decided to make a run for it and sprinted to the third little pig's house. What's the matter, pigs? The wolf cried. Afraid of a libtard? So now all the piggies were in the third piggy's house. Now this piggy was smart. He was a structural engineer.
How How did he get to be an engineer?
He went to pig college.
Sounds like pig privilege to me.
Pig privilege?
It was a pig supremacist.
A pig supremacist? Have you been watching Anderson Cooper again? Jesus Christ. So the wolf, who was gender fluid naturally, sauntered up to the third pig's concrete fortress in a delightful little sundress. But before he could say anything, one of the piggies calls the big bad wolf the wrong pronoun. The wolf was outraged. He screamed, "Transphobe!" and threw a Molotov cocktail through the pig's window. The three little pigs were trapped in a giant brick oven.
Yay!
Exactly. People who believe different than you should be killed. Now, when the fire burned out, the piggies were cooked to perfection. The wolf dined on their carcasses for 3 days, and the police couldn't arrest him because he declared the forest to be an autonomous zone.
Wolf was not. WLM.
WLM?
Sirens or Byrons?
Sirens or Byrons? That's the first sensible thing you've said all day. So after he ate the piggies, the wolf decided to take the Wolves' Lives Matter movement nationwide, and he made $50 million in donations, which he used to buy Bitcoin. Now he's the richest fucking wolf in the world, and in 2024, he's voting for Trump.
No! He's not woke. Cancel the wolf.
You ain't canceling the wolf. Get the hell out of here with your snowflake bullshit. Jesus, it's been a long day. Time to smoke this crack rock I found in the bottom of my dresser drawer.
Uncle Ned.
Jesus Christ, you scared the fucking piss out of me. What do you brats want?
Tell us a story.
Oh, jeez, can't you just go stare at your phone like normal kids?
No. Tell us a story. Tell us a story.
What kind of fucking story you want?
A Bible story.
Oh, well, you're in luck because I love fiction. Here we go. Let's start with Genesis. In the beginning, there was nothing. Nothing existed at all but God.
Who made God?
Well, that's a pretty good question.
Did God have a God?
Did God have a God? I don't know, maybe.
Does God's God have a God?
Did God's God have a God? That's some deep shit. You guys been getting into my gummies again?
No. Yes.
Nobody likes a narc. All right, now quit asking so many goddamn questions. In the beginning, there was nothingness. Only God. And God said, "This is boring as hell. I'm going to get out the 3D printer and make a fucking universe."
Did God say
Of course he did.
He did?
Well, yeah, God invented fucking.
He did?
Damn straight. Think of all the horrible, disgusting, nasty, vile, perverted things in the world. God thought of them all.
2 squirrels in 1 cup?
2 squirrels in 1 cup. What a sicko. Anyway, one day after a trillion years of twiddling his thumbs, God threw some magic dust up in the air, and voila! He created the heavens and the earth.
Like magic?
Exactly. 100% fake. Just like your grandma's knockers. God. Anyway, it took God 6 days to make the heavens and the earth. And on the 7th day, he lit up a big fatty and binge-watched Game of Thrones in his underwear. Actually, it was a Game of Bones on Pornhub.
No.
Oh, yes, it was. Gods are filthy. So God rested on the 7th day, and the next day he made Adam out of some clay. But after about a week of watching Adam sit around and jack off 24/7, he said, I guess I better give him a chick. And he created Eve and gave her big, luscious breasts. And he said, "Adam, whatever you do, don't touch those big, juicy watermelons."
Were they seedless?
Seedless. Not for long. Not for long. Oh, God. And then he motorboated the shit out of those babies, and amen.
Amen.
What's that smell?
Poopy pants.
Get the hell out of here with your poopy pants. No Rules Radio, Ned here. What's going on?
Deadly man.
You're listening to The Hang with Mike Manson Waters and Matt Spice Floyd.
Welcome back to The Hang with Matt and Mike. If you ain't listening to The Hang, you're missing out. And I enjoy that you're missing out. I'm that kind of person. I'm petty. I'm petty, Matt. I'm petty.
You don't seem petty.
I am, though. No, I'm not really, but sometimes I am. And it's like, I kind of like it. Like the people that are listening to our old show now are really kind of really get off on the fact that they got to listen to that dog shit. I get off on it. I'm sorry. I'm petty. I'm petty that way.
Just a big help wanted poster out there for you want to sit in here with me?
Oh my God, it's ungodly. But you know what? I think the boss, the old boss over there, he loves it. Because before, like when you got a couple of guys, talented guys like me and you in there, giving it back to him, that may get your ratings and everything, but that, that's not satisfying to your soul. He likes just being all about him and a bunch of fucking milk toast sycophants telling him how great he is. Okay.
Well, we might go home.
And I don't even understand it. I don't even understand it.
Where were we? You were going to tell me about Daniel Boone.
I was going to tell you that. Is that where this is the big Daniel Boone tease? I don't know that much about Daniel Boone.
I can't believe that we are coming back with a Daniel Boone tease.
I know.
Maybe I don't care who Daniel Boone is. Do I care who Daniel Boone is?
You're not going to care because I've never cared enough to really research Daniel Boone.
Oh, well then forget Daniel Boone.
Yeah, he's like a guy with a coonskin cap who fought I don't know, the Indians.
He fought the Indians?
I don't know. He's like some old... Yeah,
so
he's
you
way
don't know
back.
anything about Daniel Boone either?
Yeah, it's a terrible tease because I don't even know. I was thinking I knew about Daniel Boone. I was like, come to think of it.
I just called your bluff on Daniel Boone.
I know he wore a coonskin cap and that's it.
Yeah, and I feel like he looked like some sort of like Elmer Fudd except with a coonskin hat. Yeah, with a big long gun or something. I don't know.
They had a TV show, Daniel Boone in the 50s, and
They did?
Yeah, and it was just about him in a cabin with his wife and son, and he'd go out hunting. It's just stupid old 50s shit. They never gave any historical, like he did anything historical. I don't even know if he's real. Daniel Boone, probably fake. Everything's fake.
He's like the Tooth Fairy.
Probably.
Yeah. Could be. You never know.
So, one thing I wanted to talk about, because you missed like the dark days a lot. Like, when did you leave?
I think it was 12.
12, and then I'm trying to think when I left. This I was like 19, maybe. Around 19. So you missed like 7 years of darkness.
Yep.
I mean, there was like a couple years, and then after the first two, it was like. And I can remember, okay, so the days were getting darker. We'd been fired from, the Bone, and then we resurfaced on 98.7. I'm like, all right, this will work. A bit shitty signal, but, it's our own station. We can make it work. Then he blew that. And then we were on like AM 820, and then we got on Twitch. And so Gene Lasker was coming in like once a week. And he'd come in. He'd get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and his wife would paint this elaborate face paint on him. And whenever he came in, he had this elaborate face paint on. And he's like, do you need something to get people's attention on Twitch? Because it's the visuals. But Gene Lasker thinking more critically than the boss. You need something to get people's attention. And Bubba he never even acknowledge it. And Gene's just sitting there in this crazy ass skull face paint, and Bubba doesn't even acknowledge it or care.
That's hilarious.
And I don't whatever you think about Gene, he was, a lot of times he was a pretty funny guy. He's pretty entertaining. Sure. And so on Fridays, I would write football picks for Gene because it's Gene Lasker, and I would make sure I put all the names that were hard to say.
Okay.
So he'd mispronounce them. I'd put a comedic bent on it. And he'd fuck it up a lot because he was Gene Lasker. And when Bubba was into it, and paying attention and into it, it was pretty funny. It was really good. I looked forward to writing Gene's picks. I like Gene, and it was a funny segment. And then I noticed he'd lost interest in it. And when he wouldn't interact, and the jokes you know, there's no reaction to any of the jokes and everything. It just becomes shit. You know, it's just like I go to all the trouble to write it, and you're not even paying attention to it. Gene's in here in face paint. You got him at 4 o'clock in the morning. His wife made up his face, and you don't even give him the time of day. And then one day, Gene, he couldn't make it on Friday. So I'm like, well, I'll do I said, how about I do Pharrell picks, you know, just so we have something. Because I like to do it, and I like to write it, and I'm going to do Pharrell's picks. And so I did it, and, you know, naturally, he's like, that was fucking great, man. And so when Gene comes in next week, he's like, we're not doing Gene's picks anymore. We're doing Pharrell, because that was way funnier. I'm like, oh, thanks. That's not why I did it. I didn't do it to take Gene's place. You know, I did it because it was, you know, I just wanted us to have something that day.
Yeah.
And then, you know, so I started doing Pharrell picks. And then this is getting towards the end when he was, you know, doing things to drive me away. And he's like, Manson, this week, you're going to do Pharrell picks in the shower. And you're going to stand in the shower and do Pharrell picks. And I was like, I have no idea why I would do that.
Yeah, why?
I have no idea, but I did it, you know, and I felt, again, and then I about halfway through, I was like, this is really stupid. I feel foolish. I was like, oh, I get it. He's trying to just jackass me out.
One of the, yeah.
You know, I'm pretty dense that way. And I was like, I'll do it. You know, I'm a team guy. So all right, I'll do it in the shower. Boss man, it's going to be funny. And, you know, he kind of hung me out to dry. And it was like lame. And I'm like, I didn't want to be in the shower doing Pharrell's football picks.
Yeah, it was your idea.
But that's the last year or so was all that shit. Just, it was really miserable.
Oh, I believe
because I
it.
loved working there up until about the last year, and I was just like, oh, you know, the professional pyloning and the daily cube and the Kegels, and I'm just like,
so
what
weird.
am I fucking doing here? What am I doing here? And I didn't leave. I should have left.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Worked out fine.
Yeah, face paint. You talking about the face? It reminded me. So I this past weekend I had a Halloween party. Right, we had a charity event, and you know, raised you know, doing a lot of good, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm one of the last minute people for Halloween where I don't know what I'm gonna do.
There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, and I just can't ever come up with anything good or clever. So I'm like, I was like, all right, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be Shaggy Two Dope from Insane Clown Posse. I'll do the face paint, and then my wife was like, you know what? That's a pretty good idea. I get that. So I go, okay. So
she was Violent J.
No.
Now that's a costume.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, let me go get some face paint. And let me do a test run.
Not as easy as it looks, probably.
Well, exactly right. And furthermore, I shouldn't have waited that long to do test run, because when they got home is when I actually had my daughter help me out and like try to do the paint properly. And she's like, why are you waiting until just now? I go, I didn't want to do it while nobody was home, because in case something happens to me and I slip and fall or die or whatever it is, right? I don't want them to find me just naked with just a Shaggy Two Dope face paint with no point of reference to it at all.
Yeah, it's almost worse than autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, he
found his Shaggy Two Dope.
Right?
What's up with this? What's this guy doing?
It would be weird. So I tried to do it, and here's the picture of what I was going for. Okay, of Shaggy Two Dope. Right? Okay,
gotcha.
Here's how I ended up. It's not even close.
Can I see the other one again?
Yeah, sure.
Can I do the?
Yeah.
Can you and then show it? Then do the. Do the before and after the camera. Way too much black, Matt. Way too much black. Let me see you again. I mean, you're bordering on blackface.
I didn't even think about that. It is bordering on blackface. Oh my God! Yeah, I did not.
Did you do it or not?
Oh no! I took one look. I took a couple more pictures. I was like, okay, take a picture. Make sure it's not. Is it too bad or not? Is the paint all right? And I looked in the mirror. I go, I'm not leaving the house with this Shaggy Two Dope.
I mean, after Richard McTeer, I think that come on, buddy.
Oh my
come
God!
on, we're starting to see a pattern.
That's
a pattern.
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Which is why I've decided I'm never painting my face again for any Halloween costume. It never works out well for me. Not doing it.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
I mean,
it does look like I have blackface on there. I didn't realize that.
I think I've done 2 black faces. I did. I mean, back in the day, I came as Buckwheat one year, and then this is probably maybe less than 20 years ago, I came as Mike Tyson, and this was before, where, like this is like blackface has always been bad, but there was a great period of time where you could wear what's called makeup to make it.
Time was great
when you could try to be somewhere else, like you're trying to be Shaggy 2 Dope. You don't care what color he is. You're just trying to be him.
I'm just trying to match.
I'm just being Mike. Because I like Mike Tyson. I want that's fun for me. I can talk the whole party. I'm like Mike Tyson and talk about raping people. Hey, come on, rape
So now you're in blackface and you're talking about rape.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but then the day after, the next day, I think I used shoe polish.
Oh no.
Yeah, of course. And then there's just. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Because, I had the arms, too, and it was everywhere.
Dude, yeah.
Don't do face. Yeah, face paint.
Face paint's on the
outs.
outs.
It's a bad idea.
And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Was blackface ever... I don't know the history of it, right?
Yeah.
But the oldest blackface that I can kind of remember off the top of my head would be the Justin Trudeau guy, because he got flack for it when he did it years back. And the Canadian Prime Minister, or whatever.
Well, I mean, traditional blackface has really not been cool for ever.
But yeah, I was going to say, was it ever
it was a thing, but it was that's before, when blacks were not allowed to be performers. Like Al Jolson would paint himself up and pretend to be black in this exaggerated face. So it has very racist origins.
Oh, see, yeah.
That's why you can't do the standard blackface that looks like a minstrel singer. Ted Danson did it.
I never saw the Ted Danson blackface. I heard he did.
It was an award, some kind of award.
Didn't he
thing.
marry Whoopi?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like.
So he was making fun of Whoopi or something, but it's like Whoopi Goldberg. But he's not. He didn't get. He got a little flack, but nobody cared. But no, you couldn't do that now. The traditional blackface.
I'm amazed, and to his credit, don't get me wrong, I'm amazed Howard Stern got away and hasn't taken more crap for all the blackface that he did back in the day. Because it's fucking flagrant, okay? There's not any, when I'm doing a Shaggy 2 Dope, I'm literally just trying to match the paint to look like Shaggy 2 Dope, right?
Yeah.
That was not what Howard Stern was doing.
Have you've seen the Sherman Hemsley one? It's him. Do you know Sherman Hemsley one? He's a guy from the Jeffersons.
Yes.
Have you seen that one?
I don't. Yes, I
mean,
did. Actually.
I mean, it's he's calling him the N-word. They're both calling each other the N-word through the whole thing, and Howard's in blackface, and I think certain people they just don't go after because they're so good. Howard Stern. I wouldn't want to debate Howard Stern,
right?
Even if I thought I was right, because he's just he's so eloquent. They don't go after South Park. They don't go after Howard Stern. They don't go after those people who are so savvy.
But I also feel like a lot of the media is left leaning.
For sure.
So if you're Howard and you've done all those things. But now, as time progresses, you're more and more left-leaning.
Yes.
And it's almost like you're jockeying for position, so you all are on the left. So why would somebody on the left write a terrible article bastardizing Howard's blackface back in the day?
Yeah, just don't even mention it. Was just he's on our side now, and you can just forget that. Just like Justin Trudeau, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter because the left-wing media doesn't care that Justin Trudeau wore blackface.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
I feel like there's a setup there where they're all working in coordination where it's like, he's one of us now, so let's just not.
Because he became, to me, like I was the biggest Howard Stern fan when I was growing up, and I couldn't hear him, but I said, if I heard he was on Letterman, he's going to be anywhere, I'd watch him, and I ordered his CDs, and I loved him. And I loved him because he was anti-establishment and he was against the man and he was, shocking. And then he became the voice of the man. And I'm like, fuck that. That's bullshit. Did I already tell you, like, I was sending stuff to their writers?
Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, one day I was just like, I sent a "Fuck You, Howard" song because I'm like, fuck this guy. I'll just burn that bridge. I learned it from the best. Fuck you. You've become a traitor to everything you believed in. It's like Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, and you talk about burning bridges. Look, sometimes those bridges weren't really there to begin with.
True.
It's like a false bridge. It's a false bridge of hope.
Yeah.
Right. So
exactly. And I think that's probably why I did. I was like, man, nothing's ever going to happen here.
Yeah. It's not like one day they're going to call. Oh, you know what, man? Hey, I know it's been 10 years since we last chatted, but
yeah.
So fuck it. you know.
And like I was sending bits to Gary. And a couple, like one, me, like one time I didn't check my email for a couple days, and he was like, like 3 emails from Gary. It's like, we want to play that Rush Limbaugh song, but we want your permission. And then it was too late, so I missed out on that. So I was getting, so he, but I was, I was sending them to Gary, and then he's like, hey man, I'm gonna put you to the comedy guys, the comedy department, because I'm busy, I don't have time to be listening to your bits. And it's like, those guys aren't gonna. They're the comedy writers for the show. They're like, fuck everybody else who sends in comedy.
Yeah, they're going to try to save their gig.
Yeah, so it's like, after a while, I was like, they're never going to play anything I send them because and you put yourself in their shoes, it's like, might not do it either. My stuff's getting played, not this guy who's going to try to take my job.
Right.
Especially if he's better than me.
Yeah.
That's how it works. So.
It's true. It's true. Nobody wants to, I mean, you're training replacements, right? But nobody wants to actually know it from the jump of like, okay, if we play this bit, I'm going to be out of a job. Yeah. It's not good for business.
It's not good for business. That's why I always, I know there's a lot of factors that figured into our firing from Sirius, but just like put yourself in like Howard's shoes, and we were blowing up like nobody's business, the show. Just blowing up nationwide, and we had the phone calls, and we had people calling up us and Howard, going, "You're better than Howard." If I'm Howard, F that, man. I don't want that shit.
Yeah, I don't want.
I'm serious. I was like, I'm firing you. I don't want.
But that's the funny part. That's the funniest part about it is we weren't fired. Like there was no that's one of those things where the message from the messenger has been completely off. They just didn't want to pay us as much money. And he felt like we deserved more or something like that. And he's like, well, I'll take my audience and I'll start Radio IO and blah, 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 blah. And
yeah,
that's the result. But we were never fired from Sirius. They offered a contract.
I think they lowballed us, but they lowballed us because they were sick of dealing with us.
Yes, all the shit we had put them through from a legal perspective with the chicks in there and some of the lawsuits. Stuff and some of slanders. All of it. Yeah, why would you? Oh, you know what? You guys deserve more money. It doesn't make any sense.
We were probably fortunate that they offered us a contract.
Absolutely.
And I like that. That national stage is irreplaceable.
Yeah, because when you're selling $1 million a year in merchandise and mud flaps and terrible hats and T-shirts and all this kind of stuff, it makes up, right? You can make it up in different ways, and instead, it's just not the way it happened. But yeah, nobody was fired from Sirius. That's the funniest. It's again one of the funniest things that thinking back to it, and you probably even think that because in your brain you just kind of go, oh yeah, we were fired from Sirius, but no, we weren't. We decided to walk away.
Yeah, I know that we weren't fired, but over the years, I'm just we got fired from Sirius.
Yeah, isn't that weird how that happened? Just slowly, your brain gets trained to think something different.
I remember that meeting we had, and you see, you believe the hype, but you see the real potential. That had real potential
with the Radio IO stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First in as far as,
sure.
Could have been, maybe not, it's not going to be Facebook, but it could have been something big
Yeah, it could
There was
have
no
been,
Pandora back then.
No, I mean, you kind of could look at it as what a Patreon would be now, right? A Patreon, you can start your own show, start your own channel, charge people $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever it is, right? You can, that sort of business model, and that's essentially what it was okay, you get all this content, and here's the price you pay for it. But yeah, it just did not go that way.
But it could have. It could have, don't you think?
Yes, it would have been.
Especially when you got we got a flagship present, I think with marketing, there's no marketing ever.
That's the huge uphill battle. Yeah, because you have to get awareness of that. And in order to get awareness is a lot, right? You've got to
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, you got to
spend money.
Grind. Yeah, you got to spend money.
Consistently. You can't just
Yeah. And why would you spend money on that when you can buy a racetrack?
Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Shoulda, woulda. But it just irks me. It's like, I don't know how many. How many? Do you know how many subscribers? What was the most subscribers they had?
I'll have to go back in my email. I probably have some stats on it buried somewhere. And
do you have a ballpark?
No,
within 5,000.
It's been so many years.
Was it
that
1,000 or was it 8,000?
I think initially we had something that amounted to the early subscribers that came along with us amounted to something around $900,000 in revenue. And again, I could be off. I'm not saying that's a fact by any stretch, but I feel like that number sticks out somewhere in my brain. But I also don't remember how much the cost of being an early subscriber was.
I remember they
was it like
they shot the
$300?
tray. Was it 300?
So it would be $300.
Yeah.
All right. How do we do that math problem? Let's see.
900,000 divided by 300, right?
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see here.
It's so sad when you can't do the basic math and you have to think like, wait.
Divided by 300.
I think so.
That'd put us at 3,000.
3,000 people.
3,000 early subscribers plus
so,
probably call it another 3,000 in regulars.
Mm-hmm.
So call it 6,000. Those are $10 a month. So that's good for $120 a piece.
So what'd you say? Was the first number 3,000? Did you say?
Yeah.
So you've got three. I mean, these are 3,000.
So you're looking at a 1.3 million business model,
and you've got 3,000 people who are basically rabid for you. These are the people that will buy everything you sell them, and that's a lot of people that you could just have those people be your fans for the rest of your career and make a living off of those people.
Right. Dig in on them. Make sure you're keeping them happy. Make sure you're providing content and making sure that
and
you're not pissing them off.
And you'd probably grow some of the other people into those people. You're done. You're good. And we always come at the squandering of that audience and the disrespecting of that audience when we got down to an hour, a day, and then it was like, the hour a day is too much.
Yeah.
An hour a day for these people who are your biggest fans is too much. I mean, you're like, I have no speech for that. It blows my mind.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine there's probably some regret there on that end of things as well. He's got to be regretting that.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
whatever.
Right.
Moving on.
Yeah, maybe not.
I mean, I know who I have certain hardcore fans. It's like I appreciate the hell out of them.
Yeah,
it's like that's the core of our business model is based on these hardcore people who really like the show. And when I don't give them good stuff, I feel bad.
Right. I'm with you. Yeah, because you owe them content.
But
that's the whole.
But I don't think there was any feeling of that.
Yeah.
Of owing them anything.
No.
Blows my mind. Blows my mind.
Probably not.
Rabies. You want to know somebody who's got rabies?
You do. You're getting more and more pissed off with every passing moment.
I am. I'm going to reach over there and bite you and infect you.
I did. What do we have going on in chat? Anything?
I want a sub, please. I guess he's looking for a gifted sub. Do you ever get a gifted sub? I want a sub, please. You had your whole name based on that. What about the bar show Bubba used to do?
I wasn't around for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I probably already talked about Clem's. I mean, yeah, Clem's, didn't I? Sorry to say that when you're drinking.
Yes, you did. You come to think of
So
it.
I don't know if he's talking about Clem's or on Fridays on Twitch. He used to do Bubba 101.
Okay.
And there'd be like 4 like sycophants sitting in there with him, and he would play music
Why?
and for like 3 hours. I don't know.
So weird.
Bubba 101. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he made money. I don't know. Maybe people gave him money for it. I don't know.
Wow.
But
I don't know.
I don't know if he even does it anymore. I doubt he does it.
I really don't know. And I'm glad I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
To be honest with you. So I will say I was watching one of my favorite movies of all time, Wolf of Wall Street.
I need to see that.
Wait, you
We ain't seen no movies.
that movie's like 15 years old.
We're not
now.
movie people. We just we reached once we had kids. Everything other than kids movies almost completely dropped off.
I get it. I know what you mean. Well, I was watching
All right,
Wolf of Wall Street.
I've heard it's very good.
It's tremendous. I mean, you know,
I've only seen is like the scene where he's on Quaaludes or something and he's crawling on the ground.
yes,
That looked pretty interesting.
the whole thing's great. Like, I mean, I honestly, it's a great movie. But one of the things they have in there, one of the scenes, is they do dwarf tossing or midget tossing. I don't know if you can say midget anymore. I guess it's just dwarf tossing.
It's little people, please, Matt. Little people.
Little people.
Little person.
Well, they do a little person toss, and they strap like a Velcro helmet to this little person, and they throw them at a dartboard, and see if they can stick to the bullseye. Well, that's like literally like a small premise in the movie. It's kind of funny, but I took my Ambien one night, and I was like, does that actually exist? Do people toss midgets? So I was looking up midget tossing or dwarf tossing.
Yeah.
It actually is a thing, and they've had that like
Outlaw it, yeah.
except in Florida.
Oh, I thought they were trying to outlaw it in Florida at one point. They were. They were trying to, so it didn't pass.
It might be outlawed, but there was, and it didn't list the year. I'll have to look it up. But
It was a while ago.
It was just funny because a congressman was like, from Florida, a congressman was like, hey, look, I get that it's outlawed, but I want to make this legal again, because who are we to take away the rights of a little person if they want to humiliate themselves and toss themselves
I agree.
down a bowling alley? Who cares? And I'm thinking, what a weird hill for this this politician to die on. I don't
might
know.
be the only real politician out there, Matt.
Right? Like, I mean, talk about taking a stand. He just stuck his flag in it. It was like, I want to make midget tossing legal again. It was the opposite of what you'd expect any
Politician to say.
or any person
Anybody.
who doesn't want to take shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, sometimes you just go along with the status quo because you don't want to take shit. He was like, I think we should totally make this legal again.
I agree with him.
There's a point to it where if somebody wants to humiliate themselves, almost is like going back to like prostitution. You know, if a girl wants to offer up her snatch and get paid for it, like
Why can't she do it? It's her snatch.
yeah, it's her snatch. But if a little person wants to get tossed down a bowling alley, let him get tossed. I mean,
it's like twofold. It's like, okay, that's a great argument, but these people have such few opportunities to make money because they are disabled. And you're depriving them of the only fucking... There's like, you know, you can be a midget or you can be a dwarf in the movies, or you can get tossed. The other people aren't hiring you.
that's true. The
And you're
opportunities
going
are
to take it away. It's like, what a dick move.
few and far between. And with that being said, I think I don't like to see little people put in that position. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I know previously in some of my promoter years of doing things,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, "Oh, let's get some midgets. Let's hire some midgets." And I'm going, "No, I would not. I wouldn't have anything to do with it." And it wasn't because
You hate midgets.
yeah, it wasn't because I felt like a responsibility to not make humans look like assholes. I don't know. I didn't want a midget to dress up like a Britney Spears and have to dance on a bar top for 2 hours for $200. I don't know why. It just seemed wrong to me.
No, it is wrong, but
It seemed
they're
exploiting
they're
a human.
getting paid though, and otherwise they'd be like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. They didn't have to take the gig if they didn't want to, but there's like services out there that that they're like party services, and they're like, hey, how many midgets you need? All right, you'll get 5. They'll show up at your house Friday between 10 and 1, and they'll jump on a birthday cake for you.
And I'm sure you're around a bunch of drunks. I'm sure they're not, the nicest. They make these comments. They think they're being, maybe they don't even feel like they're being, mean, but they'll make these comments, and it's like degrading to people.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't want anything to do with it.
You've changed my mind. No, I still think they should be able to do it.
I still think they should be able to do it, though.
If they want, make that cash, man.
I mean, if they want to do it,
probably the richest dwarves in America.
I think I told you I had a little person friend when I was a kid. And he was, Was he
the guy you brought on the show or not? That's a different guy?
I don't remember.
Do you remember the guy on the show?
No.
He was like no, it wasn't Sevi, was it? No.
No, that's the one then. Yeah, and he kind of looked like a rock.
He was, he was a decent looking little person.
He was,
and he was jacked. And Jack too.
Yeah, that's the one. And he had an opportunity when WWE was looking for a mini rock.
Yeah.
To be mini rock. And I teed it up, and it was like on a platter.
What happened?
If I remember correctly, his parents kind of put the kibosh on it. Or like,
oh my God.
They were like, that's exploiting yourself. Don't do it. And I know. I'm going, you're really passing up this one. Like, this is not getting tossed into a... This is not going down a bowling alley with a helmet on as a little person. This is like an actual role.
Man.
I know, right? Some of those things you turned down.
The guy was perfect for it.
I would think so. But
because he got it, he could work, and he was good looking, for a little person, and he was jacked. Tried to slide that in there.
You did a good job. There's some girls that I don't know if they're little people or not. They're like cuspids. You know what I mean? Like they have a feature, but you can't be quite sure. Like they've got some.
There's something about him.
There's something about him. But you can't be 100%
put your finger on it. Like Peter Dinklage almost looks like a normal person.
No, that guy looks like a little person.
No, but because even though he's like a more normal looking little person,
if you were
he's
just
still
to look
got
at
that
his,
look. He's got the
if you were just to look at his headshot though, you might get fooled.
See.
Because he does have kind of a chiseled jawline. He's got the sweet goatee.
But if you gave it a good once, we got
he's a little short.
He's got the look.
Little short.
Got the look.
He owns Hollywood as far as little people goes, right?
There's always one of them.
Yeah, there's always one. That's what I'm saying. There's always one.
Okay, so back in the way, back in the 60s, 70s, maybe even early 80s, Billy Barty.
Never heard of him.
Okay, but because before your time. Then Mini-Me.
Oh, Mini-Me, Vern Troyer.
And then
that's right.
Now, who was the last one we were talking about?
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, and then see, he's got it for 10 years. There's all the other little guys are going. There's only room for one. There's only one room for one.
That's true. I didn't think about I forgot about Vern. See, I forgot about Vern Troyer. Yeah.
I don't think there was anybody else. See, I can't think of Hervé Villech's, but he wasn't technically.
He was the boss, right?
Yeah, the plane. Yeah, he was pretty short.
He was a little person.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah,
he was. So he is. So there can only be one.
it's like Survivor.
There can only be one. Society will only tolerate that we can only take so many little people.
You snap a pool cue in half. You guys figure it out. Only one survives.
Can be only one.
Oh my God! What happened to clowns too? I was looking at even Halloween.
Thank God. The clown. I was never a clown fan. Not I wasn't scared of them, but I'm just I don't know if you've been to Cirque du Soleil. Those clowns are pretty good.
Those are amazing, and they don't count as clowns. Those are performers.
There you go.
I'm talking.
They're
talking about the children's birthday clowns. I don't even see them anymore.
I think it was made invented by pedophiles, and that's
Jesus.
Yeah, no, and then because they suck. Clowns suck. I'm not afraid of clowns. I just detest clowns. Unless you got Cirque du Soleil talent, I don't want to see your dumb, clown wig ass with your red nose. You suck. You suck ass.
Yeah, and I don't know why.
Pissing off all the clowns now.
Well, at this Halloween party I was at over the weekend, like I'm seeing like
there a
5.
clown?
There was multiple clowns.
Like legit, they didn't just come dressed as clowns.
No, they were dressed as clowns.
Okay, so costume.
The costumes
That's a
of
weak ass costume.
It's a weird costume because you don't really see clowns anymore, like unless it's as a decoration in the Halloween store.
Thank God.
But I don't see clowns anymore. Are you doing a Halloween thing, by the way?
Yes, I am.
Are you?
Maybe.
What are you dressing
Maybe.
up as?
No, I don't. I don't know. I'm like,
Don't be Shaggy too, though.
I'm like not last minute guy. Like there's some people who are like, it's 6 hours before for a party, and they're like, what can I be? But I'm like last week guy, and I'm like, shit, what happened this year? What happened this year that's good to to parody?
You want to be timely.
Yeah, that's usually what I do.
What's
but I can't. I haven't even thought of it.
So
it's
no
like,
guess. Well, you've got a lot of action going on. You've got rabies. You've got a horse that won't eat.
I'm sure I got other things going on, but I can't even think of them right now because my brain's too addled.
Dress up as a raccoon.
A raccoon? I could be a man with rabies.
You could be.
What are the top? I think the Israeli story's probably off limits for people.
Are you going offensive with it?
No, I'm not going to do that. No.
Yeah, that's.
But I bet. I mean, that's in my opinion, it's a good one. But I'm not going to do it.
The top sellers.
What's
just
going
Ken and Barbie. That's like the standard.
I was going to say. I'm
year.
sure that's the go-to.
It's just Ken or Barbie.
But like you got to think if you're going to be your girlfriend wants to be a Ken and Barbie, which would suck. What if there's 2 or 3 other Ken and Barbie? That kind of
you're running into a real problem.
I mean, it kind of takes the wind out of your sails. One time at our party years ago, do you remember the? I think it was Geico or something. Where was this guy on a motorcycle and he was covered in money, and he was riding, in a motor. And that was a commercial, and he's just covered in money.
Okay.
And so the guy comes, and from his waist up, he's covered in money. It looks pretty good. It's like, that's pretty good. And then like a half hour later, my friend Brandon comes, and he's covered from head to toe in money. Head to toe. Like he was like later on bitching. He's like, this took me 4 hours to glue all this money. My wife was in there gluing this money on me. It was the worst experience of my life. But everybody was like, whoa, they're like, that. And so the guy with the half guy was like,
he was on the outs.
Ruined his evening because he was half-ass money guy. Totally ruined his evening.
Did you get trick-or-treaters out here?
Never. Not a one ever. 23 years. Not a one.
That's awesome. That's kind of good for you.
They ain't coming down that driveway, I guess. It's too dark and creepy.
It is dark and creepy.
Yeah. If we had like lights, like pumpkins, for
something inviting,
for 250 yards, then they might come. But nobody's ever come here.
I see. We're in a new neighborhood, so I'm trying to figure it out. And we don't know what's going to happen, but our neighbors have told us it's a full-size candy bar kind of thing. And I'm like, man, come on.
Is that in the HOA? We got to give up.
No,
no snack size.
It's like you don't want to be those people. Like we don't want to be. We don't want to like underwhelm, but I also don't want to. I'll be honest. I don't want to spend $200 on candy bars.
I mean, come on. Who's happy with a bite-sized Snickers? What kind of world are we living in that you're not happy you got a bite-sized? I almost like the bite-size better than the big ones.
Well, I mean, the big ones are
because you can get a bite-size of this, a bite-size of that, a bite-size of this.
That's true. But all I know is I'm bent out of shape because I don't want to get off my wallet for $200 in candy for what?
Now, that is like around your neighborhood? People are like, and by the way, Matthew, please, only full-size candy.
Sort of. Yeah.
Is that how it goes? It got word of mouth?
It was word of mouth, but we were asking and they were telling. So, and then I talked to another neighbor.
How gauche. Oh.
Well, then the other neighbor, I saw him at the store last night, and he's like, oh, yeah, you just get a couple bags of candy. So now we've got conflicting reports, right? More people are saying we get full size, and there's only a couple people with bite size. And I'm sitting here going, I'd rather just get a couple bags of bite size, but then again, I don't want to be Mr. Cheapskate out there or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's such a weird, this is like part of the growing up thing that I don't understand, right? This is the middle-aged man thing of going, what the fuck are we doing? Like, it's such a stupid thing for me to even care about. And here I am.
Candy bars.
Here I am caring about
commiserating about the size, not only about candy, the size of candy bars.
Yes.
Is there a mid-size candy? I mean, is it a kid? Did you say it was full size or king size?
Full size
Okay.
is what
I
were
think
the,
that-
were the,
I
the
mean,
words that were relayed
like
to us.
in Bezos' neighborhood, it's king size, I guess.
Oh my God,
If can you imagine giving out bite size in Bezos' neighborhood?
bro!
You
I
get
would
shunned. You have a scarlet letter on your head. Say
Man.
bite size.
get out of here. I would love to go trick or treating in Bezos' neighborhood.
Fucking lighthouse is dark. He ain't giving out shit.
Right? How funny would that be? You gear up to go to Bezos' house and just nothing.
You can't get past the armed guards.
Oh my
You get
God.
shot.
I hate it when those houses have the lights out.
Oh, that's yeah. I mean, you're just like dick.
It is kind of a dick move. You're telling me, like, you're home. It would be one thing if you weren't home. But some of these people, they're home.
Oh, they're home. Yeah,
They're not doing anything. They're just in there watching old MacGyver reruns or something like that. Like,
And they went out and unscrewed the lamp out front. Like,
right?
Screw these kids.
Yeah. Don't even think about coming to the door.
I mean, I'm gladly give away candy, but they just don't come. I don't like discourage them. They just have never come. I was always happy to give out candy to trick or treaters.
And then it's weird if you're the guy on the corner. Like, hey, come on, kids, just come down this
Yeah.
dark, windy road.
follow me.
There's some candy back here for you. Now, no kids have been back here before, but I promise you're going to get a nice king size.
Yeah, you're the first. So do you take your? So how old's your daughter?
She's 10.
10. So do you take her? Is she into it? She's trick or treating?
Yes. Okay.
Does she just you guys? There's so many. I mean, there's a lot of parameters. Some kids they just go off with kids. Some kids just go with their parents. Some kids have parents and relatives and friends.
I'm honestly, I'm
Are you
more.
loner? Are you loner?
I'm kind of like a roamer. Like I got my like little electric scooter, so I'll creep up on them, say hello, then go back to the house, make sure everything's cool and all that stuff. But I'm kind of, I'm half and half between the home and on the road. But that's another rule too.
Like with the kids, you mean?
Yeah.
They're just a group of kids.
Yeah,
Or
I
is
mean,
the mom-
she'll
is there
have a
a
couple friends over.
But not like any adults with them.
Yes, there'll be
Okay.
some adults. Yeah. So,
But like that didn't use like back in my day.
bro,
There was no adults. You just ruined Halloween, Mom and Dad.
Right?
We were. I mean, I wouldn't do anything bad, but I was roaming for hours, and it was the best night of the year.
and then what happened to toilet paper in houses and eggs?
They ruined Halloween.
There's no toilet papering. I haven't seen
No.
somebody toilet paper a house in years, which kind of sucks because I always thought that was funny and fun to do. And then throwing eggs, that was another. Like,
Oh, sorry, Matt. Look what I've done. That's a bad one. That's a bad miss.
You're rabid. You're foaming right now.
Eggs. There's no eggs anymore.
There's no eggs anymore. But that used to be a fun thing to just throw eggs at house or have egg fights or something. And now none of it.
You know.
Now it's just king size candy bars, please, thank you.
It's not, you're not getting old. It's like, it was so much fun. And then, you didn't hear like so many kids were abducted on Halloween. Nobody was getting abducted. It was a bunch of, I mean, the neighbor, there was, every once in a while a parent would come with a young child.
Yep.
But if you were like 10 to 13, you were in a gang of kids just having the time of your life, getting candy and running around.
It's
and those
true.
days are gone.
Yeah, abduction. It was like it'll be back. Like, hey, it'll be back. It's still early. He'll come home.
Yeah, well,
Be around.
Halloween was, I mean, they kind of ruined it. I think it became more of an adult thing but back in my day, nobody really had Halloween parties. Maybe at the bars, that costume then it became kind of an adult thing.
Yeah,
which,
because
I loved it because I loved Halloween when I was a kid, and then I got to celebrate it as an adult.
that's true. There was also a turning of the tide too, where one year there was no dads out front with coolers of beer. And then the next year, I just happened to see a lot of dads out front with coolers of beer and like a 6-foot table. And then the next year, it was like coolers, a couple bottles,
Yeah.
some mixers. And it became like more of a congregating adult thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's we still go with the grandkids, and there's still, you'll get, these usually 2 or 3 houses that have a setup where they're like, do you want a shot? Or do you want
Exactly.
a beer? And it's like, so it's become,
It's like hey, I feel your pain. Want a shot?
Yeah, it's pretty cool though.
It is pretty
It is
cool.
pretty cool. I enjoy Halloween a lot.
I'm looking forward to that. They also told us we have to keep the table, or we should keep the table down by the driveway. That way, the kids can get to more houses more efficiently.
The rules for Halloween. No rules for Halloween.
There's rules.
You should give out something like popcorn balls or trail mix, something just awful.
A roll of
apples.
pennies.
It's like I hated all that. It's like if you ain't giving me 7-Eleven candy, you're on my shit list, man.
I haven't seen a popcorn ball in a minute.
Nobody's gonna eat your popcorn ball.
Or rice cakes.
I didn't eat the back in I can't even remember the year when I was a kid. I didn't know. Even then, I didn't eat those. I was like, I ain't eating somebody's popcorn ball.
That's true. But there was also that whole thing about poisoning the candy was always a rib. And
never
it was
happened.
Like, who's going to take the time to put a razor blade in a piece of candy? And where's the end game in that? Like, it's not like if there's this terrible person who's poisoning the candy or whatever, like, they will never reap the benefits of a child going through it. Right?
Yeah.
The kid's at home unpacking his candy and eating it. I mean, we still had our candy inspected, but I think it was all bullshit.
Because, okay, so, that's your diabolical plan. Finally, I can, kill a child with the poison candy. The kid dies. They know it's from the poison candy. And you're in the neighborhood. They're going to go to every single person. They have probable cause to go to every guy because they say the kid, you're fine. There ain't nobody getting away with that.
Yeah, it's true. But that's why I also think it was a lie.
I've heard it, and it was more recently. I had like one instance in my entire life of it actually happened with a razor blade in the apples. And they immediately caught the guy. It's like, it doesn't happen. It's a bizarre urban legend that is perpetuated forever.
Yeah. And okay, I mean, I'll check the kid's candy. Like, that's fine. I'll check it, but I mean, I'm going to eat some of it. I don't care what house it came from.
Oh my God, that's not their candy. It's my candy.
Yeah, I'm checking the candy to see what you got that I can get.
I take it. Yeah, I mean, if it's my favorite, I'm taking
that's
it.
Pimp's cut.
That's just the way it is.
Peanut M&Ms, gone. Ooh. Reese's peanut butter cups, gone. Anything sour, you can have that shit. Keep that. Hang
gummy.
on to
I'm
it.
not a gummy guy.
Yep. Keep your gummy shit.
I mean, I'm not too greedy about it, but I'm definitely taking that, and that is mine.
I agree with you.
My parents did it. I think it's a great tradition.
Again, time-honored tradition.
It sucked when I was a kid. I hated it. But then I get it now. I'm like, yeah, they should have taken that from me. That's their kid. That's their everything.
You didn't need to be on that sugar rush.
Plus, they paying the rent, man.
That's right. That's right.
The worst, we didn't, we were a solid middle class, solid middle class family. But, still, when we went to McDonald's with five kids, my dad and mom had 5 kids, there was like, they got whatever they got. I don't even know what they got. That was up there in the privilege section. But
that's first class.
But whatever we got included just 2 bags of fries between 5 people.
Yeah.
Small fry, not even the big. And then they might take a couple. But that's the way it is, man.
You get taxed.
And I did it to my kids, man, because we go to Dairy Queen, and it's got to get passed back. That chocolate covered vanilla cone is getting passed back, but it's got a bite out of it, and they're like no, Dad.
Can I tell you how freaked out I was the first time I had gone to Dairy Queen? It just wasn't a big Dairy Queen guy, and all of a sudden I go to Dairy Queen, and the lady takes the thing and she turns it upside down. And then turns it right side up and gives it to me. I was just like, what the fuck just happened? I had to have like 3 people explain it to me. Like,
is this lady in my face?
Why is she turning? Like, they're like, oh, this is what they do. I'm like, that's a thing? They just.
Did you panic? Oh my God.
It seemed odd. I didn't know it was going to happen. It came out of nowhere. Yeah, not a fan of it. Don't turn it over.
Those blizzards are pretty good, though.
Might get on the way home.
Those blizzards are pretty good. Dairy Queen's a slow one. That's a slow drive-through. There's certain drive-thrus that are slow.
Burger King's slow.
Is it? Yeah. I haven't been there in ages.
I think it's because they pretend to say they make it fresh or something. But I just think I think the quality of employee has gone down in a lot of these places. Like the employees that are still good and efficient would be Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And probably McDonald's, I would count in that. And PDQ. Other than that, I really can't think of many efficient employees.
It's so, to me, it's so bizarre how it seemed like relatively quickly an entire workforce said, we don't want to work anymore. I mean, it didn't like come out of the blue. It's like, it wasn't like, it didn't even seem gradual. It's like nobody wants to work anymore. It's like a few people said it and then everybody's like, yeah, that's the right attitude. No more work.
Yeah, and now people are happy with going, you know what? I don't even want to buy a house. I'm not even going to need a house. I don't care if I have a house or own anything. I'm going to be a minimalist and I'm going to live in a tiny home, which, okay, I get it. The spirit of it's nice, but that doesn't exactly teach you any sort of, I don't know.
Are the people,
where's your drive?
If you live in a tiny home, how many years do you always enjoy it? It's like I grew up in my neighborhood and we had my grandma lived here and my aunt lived here and we lived here, and in the middle there was this about a 40-yard by 15-yard field of just grass, and we lived out there when we were kids, and we played football, we played baseball, we played there's none of that going on with your tiny home. You're living.
Well, you still have to find a tiny plot of land to stick it on, and a tiny plot of land is also expensive. Because, you still have to have somewhere to park it and leave that bitch.
I don't know. I like it, sometimes you watch the news and go, this isn't going away anytime soon. It's like, how are people paying $2,000 a month to get an apartment for the next whenever? How does that even work?
I don't know, man.
You talk to every generation, you're always saying, oh, it's the worst it's ever been,
Yeah.
But I'll talk to, just people normally, the vet comes out here today and she's like, things are crazy. Everybody I know goes, is it me or is it, things just like fucking crazy? Isn't it kind of crazy, Matt? It's like fucking,
yeah, and
shit's like fucked up.
It's crazier because in the grocery store, rarely, at least in my experience, guys, I think it's like a male pride thing. Guys aren't ones to talk about buying things that are on sale. They're not ones to be like, this one's buy one, get one. Like, usually the wife will say that, and the guy will just kind of go,
sure,
whatever, right, go along with it. On multiple occasions now, I've seen the guy go, hey, these are BOGO, let's do these. Like, it's almost like that level of pride, or like, I'm the provider or whatever. I think that's kind of dropped off, and they're going, hey, look, man, shit's just too expensive. Like, well, let's have an open discussion about some BOGOs.
Yeah.
Myself included. Like, I never used to think about that stuff. Now I'm looking at it in the aisles. I'm going, well, this one's buy one, get one. I'm going with that one. Like,
I saw buy one, get one free cat litter. And I didn't have my card, and I was like, I got to tell Donna. Buy one, get one free cat litter. And then at 7-Eleven, they have rewards where at the pump where you can save 10 cents a gallon. And I signed up for that, and I was like, I never did that shit in my life. Ever.
Same. All of a sudden, now I find myself at the register. I'm punching my phone number. I'm going, all right, yeah, it saved me $2. And it's not even because it's not because I'm cheap. I firmly believe that. It's more or less like it's just the sign of the times.
It's a common sense thing to do. If you can save.
Yeah.
I mean, I went, I was signed up for the rewards at the pump to get it started off 10 cents a gallon off. Now it's down to 5 naturally. But I went, I got my big gulp of my peanuts, and they were like, oh, do you have a rewards member? And I was like, yeah. And they said, well, it's only 70 cents. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. This is awesome. This is awesome. 70 cents for a Coke and peanuts.
When are you going to go electric? That's the question.
I'm not sold on the electric.
Boo.
I mean, you've got the
You like gasoline, do you?
No, it's just like if you see like these when they catch on fire, if you got to replace the battery's like $15,000 to $20,000.
Yeah, but the battery, typically will have a pretty good warranty on it of like 100,000 miles, so you're good for that. And your gas savings is pretty strong. And
what? Yeah. Well, I mean, what? So what? Yeah. I don't know. What's the difference? What's the biggest difference between like driving electric and driving gas?
So one, just not having to go to the gas station anymore, right? Like, I mean, the price of gas. And I don't know about you, but every time I used to fill up my car, it's just like you see that number, that visible number of going, oh my God, I just spent $54 in gas. Or it's just it's just sucking it out, right? So that savings is nice because you just don't have to pay for gas, okay? You plug it in, you got it on, your lower kilowatt hours in the overnights. It's charged. It's ready to go by morning time, and you're gone.
So what's the difference in your electric bill? Charging, it would seem like just like you would have to take a lot of electricity to charge that battery.
No,
doesn't.
I think it averaged before when we were doing the math on it. It was like $25 to $40 more a month, depending on how much you charge and all that kind of stuff. But not bad. I mean, well worth it. And then who likes going to the gas station and filling up your car? You don't like that shit. It's a pain in the ass. It's like another thing to do. It's so that part is great. And then look, man, the acceleration on it's awesome.
Yeah, but when the electric grid goes out, you're going to be shit out of luck, Matthew.
Well, that's why you got to get solar to go along with it. Now you get sucked into their whole ecosystem.
And you got solar?
No, can't afford that.
I can't either.
That's expensive.
I mean, God, thinking about buying a new car, it's like, man, I ain't thinking about buying no new car, electric or gas. It's like, it's like a mortgage now to buy a car.
It is. It seems pretty crazy. Yeah.
So I know they're doing the 7-year now. Have they increased that? They'll be going 10-year now.
Oh,
10-year loans on car. It's like ridiculous.
I'm sure. I mean, why not? You can just make more interest every year than they have.
When your car is, it's a junk by year 4, and you just got a 10-year loan.
You got to get an offer from some car dealer.
Well, I seen the videos of them trying to put out them electric car fires, and it takes 30,000 gallons of water, man.
I'm not worried about it. It's a one-off. I mean, if your gas car exploded, it's going to cause quite the fire as well.
No, it's not. They put that right out. A burning battery is different than burning gasoline.
All right, you're probably right on that. You're probably right.
Yeah, I'm just
hoping
it's few and far between.
I'm playing the odds.
It's few and far between. It's just when it happens, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's not like
you'll go electric, just like you got yourself a good old vaccine. You'll cave.
Fucking ass.
You'll cave.
I'm sponsored by Pfizer. The MNRA is deep in my bones right now.
I do wish you good luck, and I hope you keep me posted. I know we don't like talk a ton in between shows, so all this today is news of you getting rabies or maybe having rabies. So I'm hoping next week.
I don't know. I kind of consider myself a bad friend sometimes. It's like I don't like I love doing the Mike and Matt, the hang with Mike and Matt. I love it. It's fun. I enjoy but I don't feel the need to text you about anything during the week at all.
I know.
I can't. I think like occasionally I'll send you like the show or something, and I'll have a comment to you like, "Oh, the second hour was great."
Yes, and I think that's fine.
But other than that, hey, how's it going?
But yeah, I know. But with that being said, I would like to know if you have rabies or not. I don't, just as on a human level, like just let me know. Just either put a positive sign or a negative sign.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to remember whether you texted me before or after the rabies incident that I said, yeah, let's do the show. It's like I was planning on doing it regardless.
Oh.
Whether I was up in the air about the shot or not. I think I'm good. I don't think I have rabies.
I hope that's the case.
Yeah, it was very hectic this week. The rabies kind of when you have potential rabies, it throws a monkey wrench into all your plans.
It does seem like a bit of a bear.
And it's weird. I'd like to know, like, would most people, like, I'm very anti-Western medicine, vaccines, everything. You know, it's like don't go to the doctor. But when it came to rabies, I was like, yeah, I'm taking the shot. Fuck it, I got to take it. And I was, you know, and there's a little bit of debate, but in the back of my mind, I was like, you can't. You're gonna die if you get rabies. You gotta take it. You gotta take it. Even though it's like I'm 90% sure that this isn't a raccoon scratch, but it could be. So you know,
you did the right thing.
I think I did.
Look, we were talking about doctors earlier. Just a quick note on that. Last time I saw my doctor, they were telling me about a patient who had been in there just before me, and she had this lump or something, you know, months back, and the doctor told her, hey, this could be cancerous. You need to, you know, look at this further. And the lady was like, oh, you know, I'm holistic. I'm not worried about it, kind of thing. Well, she came back, and now it's, you know, grown or metastasized or whatever they call it, right?
It's a good word, metastasis.
Yeah,
metastasized.
And so now it's beyond repair, essentially. And the doctor's like going, I told you. And she's now the lady's going, well, is there anything we can do? Because, you know, she was holistic until it doesn't work. And then all of a sudden, now you really want the Western medicine. So I do think you did the right thing.
And you know, like, to your point, it's like I think about, like, you know, like, cancer's a big scam, and all, you know, it's such a big scam, and the chemotherapy, they've been doing the same thing for 50 years. It's ridiculous. And I think if I get cancer, okay, so I get the diagnosis, I got cancer. Am I going to be, all right, well, let me look up these juice diets that are going to cure my cancer, or am I going to be chemo? Chemo.
Yeah.
You know?
It's easy to say you'd be the holistic guy.
I might not.
Until you're faced with the decision.
I mean, I think rabies is a little, like, if you told me that COVID was going to guarantee kill me if I got it, well, I'm getting the vaccine. But so rabies is different. You're going to die if you get it. I mean, if you get it, you die. Nobody gets cured. They're like, yeah, you got rabies, you're dying, and we're gonna strap you to a table and give you morphine until you die, because it's gonna suck. That I'm taking the fact that, you know, big farm, thank you. You know,
I'm going home tonight and I'm reading about rabies because I'm fascinated now, and I'm more fascinated how you were saying earlier how there's one person that survived it. I want to know who this individual is and know more about that. Like, it just seems fascinating to me.
I think we've talked about it on Cluster F, but I can't remember it.
I'll read about it. I'll check it out.
I'm thinking. Would you want to take a break and then come back and do about 20 more minutes for the VIP? Want to get crazy tonight?
If you want to.
I've had a couple cocktails. I'm getting a little frisky, Matt.
You gonna fondle me in the next break?
See, you think
20 minutes of fondling?
You think it's a long, you know, I think it's a long con about you, whatever. I don't know what this is. You're conning me. I know it is.
How
it's
am
a
I
long
conning you?
But it's actually, I'm conning you because I'm going to fondle you. I'm lulling you in. I'm lulling you in.
Look, if you didn't have rabies, I'd be down. But
fuck, damn raccoon.
Yeah, man, let's do it. Whatever you want.
Well, let's do it. Let's go get another cocktail, and we'll do about 20 more minutes for the VIP, so I can say goodbye to the people who are watching now. Thank you very much for tuning in. Not only did you miss the first 20 minutes of excellence of The Hang with Mike and Matt, you're going to miss the last 20 minutes unless you go to clusterfshow.com and sign up for the VIP. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. Really appreciate it. We got some great fans on here, and Mike and Matt is having a great time doing it.
So maybe we'll see you next week if you don't die from rabies.
Hopefully.